Welcome, everybody. Can I have someone call our meeting to order today?
I will.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Thank you. Christine Furno, Jennifer Hoffer, and Rita Hare are excused today. So we'll start off by going over the minutes from our last meeting that was held on March 22nd. If everybody could go over the minutes there, and any questions, please bring them up now. Otherwise, I need a motion to accept the minutes from the March 22nd, 2023 meeting.
Yeah, make a motion that we accept them. I'll second.
Second. Anybody else have any questions? All right, great. Then I'll turn it over to Patrice and let Patrice go over a report about the bills.
So on our regular COA budget, we had the phone bill and we ordered some custodial supplies. Underneath the grant, we did our exercise classes and craft supplies. And we ordered some really nice trash cans, the wooden ones that close, so
Nice.
aesthetically it's better, and they
Looking very nice down
they
here.
have an iodizer in them, so they don't have any smells to them.
Oh,
Yeah.
very nice.
So a little bit homey.
Yep. Wonderful. And then program attendance?
We have been really good.
Yes.
Really, really good. So a lot of our classes are getting really full, like Pam's class is the painting class, she's had quite a good following there. Our exercise classes are getting really full, and I would say 90% of it is Douglas, but we are getting a lot of other senior centers because other senior centers are now charging for their exercise programs. How or why, I don't know, I can't manage anybody else's budget. But the
Yeah.
state would like us to provide educational, nutritional, physical fitness programs to our seniors and our newsletter out of our grant money. And everybody got a lot more money last year. I mean, our grant doubled, right? And we have a small population, only a couple of thousand. The senior centers, I can see what they get. They get double what we get.
Yeah.
And they're charging for all the exercise programs, so I can't figure
And
it
when you
out.
add that up,
It's-
like for our exercise group, which has grown, and I'm so happy about that, $3 a class.
Right.
I mean,
A lot of
that's
money.
$9 a week
Just for
me.
that class.
Yeah, for just that.
So I can't understand with seniors struggling to pay for food and prescriptions and fuel that they're charging for exercise, but they are. So I'm never going to, hope in my lifetime, ever have to charge for an exercise program here. I don't think it's fair. But if the classes continue to get so big, I have to allow Douglas first,
Yeah.
obviously.
You'll have to put a limitation.
So
Yeah.
that's what we've been kind of, if I'm looking at things and we have a limit of, 50 people in this room is probably exactly what we should have in this room. Based on tables, based on safety, based on space, and
Well, doesn't parking become an issue too?
parking is a
Because
tremendous
with the
issue.
post office, I'm
Yes.
sure it's probably an
So-
issue
Yeah.
now, to be honest.
Yep,
Yeah.
so, that being said, it'll be open to Douglas residents for all of our big events first.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I mean, the balance and strength class had 4 or 5 people in it for years. As people retired and moved on or moved away, it got smaller and smaller, and now it's got a bunch of younger seniors in it.
Yeah.
I'm
really.
so happy.
Yeah,
When I
that's what
walk
you
in
wanna
the
see,
room
yeah.
and this whole room is full.
Yeah.
We
And,
have,
you know, like you said,
yeah,
younger
drinking the
people,
other day.
it's a nice mixture and,
Yeah.
I think changing it to the social center name, I mean, that's
Yes.
really what it
Hope
should
so.
be.
yeah, and we had a new person last week or the week before, and she had tried another senior center, and she came here and she said to Angie after, I cannot believe how welcoming this senior center is. She just felt so welcome and
Yeah,
so at
that's
home.
nice to
Yeah,
hear.
it is nice to hear,
And,
good.
you know, that makes Angie feel good.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
and it
It's-
makes us all feel
It
good.
does, I mean, it's very hard to be somebody, she comes from another town.
Yep,
She had tried 2 senior centers. One of them
Yes.
she didn't find welcoming, and one of them was
Yeah.
charging for their exercise
Yes.
programs.
yeah,
And so she came in, so she, obviously, we didn't know who she was, because we
Right,
know everybody. And so we gave her a little tour, and she joined right in, but everybody here is very welcoming.
did.
Like, we have
Yeah.
a new person coming for lunch tomorrow, and Janet, well, I'm gonna see if she can sit at Janet's table as an ambassador, because she doesn't know anybody. So, and then she said, I can't believe it takes a
Yeah.
lot to walk in here when you don't
She
know
was so
anybody, but
happy
she's
when
like,
she
she
left.
Yeah.
talks with everybody, she's joined all
Yeah.
the exercise classes, and she's lovely.
good.
So we've had a lot of that, but the balance and strength, that, we had to move out to this room. I think that Mahjong is gonna have to move out to this room too, because that group has gone from like, 3 people to
From
12.
one table to 3 tables.
Yeah.
Would you say that our attendance overall is back to pre-pandemic levels?
More.
Or more, really?
More.
Great, that's wonderful.
My art class has improved with a lot of new people, and some of them coming from out of town have said the same thing, that this is much more welcoming. And they've been to other senior centers so they can compare, and they said, we'd rather come here.
Nice.
Even for the same event, they'll come here before going to their own.
Yes, yeah.
I think one thing that has really stood out in the last couple months is when we go to the pickleball, you're dealing with the younger seniors,
Yeah.
the active ones.
Yeah.
And I look at them and I find it hard to realize they're retired, but they are. And they are out looking for activities.
Yes,
And
yep.
I don't want to take away from some of the activities here, but they're not really interested in sitting and knitting. You know, they want to
Don't
know.
do that anymore.
Yeah, they want to know, are you going anywhere? Do you
Yeah.
do anything together as a
Yeah.
group? And Monday night, the girl who was overseeing the pickleball read the announcement of all the activities going on
Wow.
at the Douglas Senior Center. And these people are making notes, and
Yes.
I'm coming to this,
Yes.
and
Good.
and
Yeah.
we look like the sock hop is gonna be sold out.
Oh, yeah.
Uh,
We have 2 people at the food pantry who are young adults.
Yeah,
One of them goes to pickleball.
uh-huh.
And she's starting gradually now to say, oh, I think I want to come to that. I
Yes.
think I want to
Yeah,
come
yeah,
to
Yeah,
that.
and you hear them talking to each other, oh,
Yeah.
are you going to go? Well,
Yeah.
then I'll come too.
Yeah,
And,
the sock hop is going to be a big
It's gonna be fun.
success.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that's something I think we need to talk about is, other types of activities.
So that's what we've been doing, changing up some of the things. Like, we're gonna have our Mother's Day tea
Yeah,
and
if you want
craft
to talk about
classes.
upcoming events now,
Yeah.
we'll just move on to the next one, sure.
So
Patrice,
trying to,
Can you find out what the other centers are doing with all that money?
nope, it's not my, I mean, it's probably in their annual report,
Yeah,
but I don't know, like I said, so, we're lucky because we have the backing of the town budget, right? So
Yes.
some senior centers, you have to remember, we only have me, Jennifer, and Jill, right? We do all of the cooking. Most senior centers have
Oh,
a
I
cook.
know.
yeah.
We do all the food shopping.
Yeah.
We do every single solitary thing in-house. So we work 4 times harder, I think, to be able to provide more. Do you know what I mean? Because we try to budget, you know what I mean? So
Yeah,
I don't wanna have a part-time person here that I don't need, paying for it out of my budget. So that's what would happen. So somebody might be using their grant money to pay for an outreach coordinator. I do it. Somebody might need money to pay for their kitchen staff or their van driver. Our town is gonna be paying for that. Our town is paying for the gas for the van. Our town is
Wow.
paying for the van. Our town
Oh,
is
that's
paying for the
nice.
driver.
Yeah, that's great.
So that's why I can't be judgy. I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
I don't know how much their exercise teachers are costing either. I mean, we have Pam, thankfully. She's
Right.
teaching our class
Yes.
on our tax work-off.
I know.
Angie is teaching your balance and strength
Yeah.
class as a volunteer.
And they both do a great job.
And Gloria,
at
God
what
love
you
her,
do.
has
Yeah,
never, Gloria's never raised her price. And I'm, in the 10 years that I've been paying her, she's never raised her price. So I think it's a lot of things. Like I said, some places, we don't pay for our utilities here, the town does. See what I mean? So it's probably a lot of things. So if they're paying for their electric bill and their own oil, and their kitchen staff, and their outreach coordinator, and their van drivers, out of their grant, which most of them probably are doing some of that. My mother in a big city, I mean, a very wealthy city is paying, she pays $10 a year to be a member of the senior center.
wow.
She pays $5 a year for her newsletter, and she has to pay $35 for 6-week classes.
Wow.
And their lunches are $8 to $12.
That's a lot, that's a lot. And another thing I try to push out there in the community is the fact that the meals we have here are home cooked in that kitchen.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are of the mindset that the meals are coming from Tri-Valley.
Right.
Yeah.
So whenever I say we're having lunch in a movie, or if you do a dinner, I always tell those people, the food is bought and it's cooked in our kitchen.
I should probably put that in the newsletter. That's a good idea. I'm gonna
Yeah,
put that
I
down.
agree.
Yeah, home cooked meals.
Because that is a kind of a
Because the
thing.
minute people think the food is from Tri-Valley, everybody has the same opinion
Right.
about it. And, you know, they have to go by their guidelines. But I try to say that to people
Yeah.
so they know they're getting a home cooked meal. Yeah.
And the thing is too, I am myself not a senior yet, and I mean, you're a center. So I'm always open if you have a class that you wanna do, if there's a program you wanna have, you know what I mean? I get information in and I'm like, that sounds good, that sounds good, that sounds good. So that's what it kinda comes down to. I'm just in charge of putting the things together,
Yeah.
but it's your center, so if there's something somebody wants,
Somebody wants.
not a problem. And, you
Yeah,
know,
I'd even say, you know, Jim brings up a great point, you know, the
Yeah.
new ideas and things like that.
Yeah.
Maybe for our next meeting we have next month,
everybody bring an idea.
bring some ideas. Why don't we talk about them at the meeting? You know,
You know,
You know, get some
ask
feedback from
around
people.
out there for the younger, you know, the people in
Yeah.
their early
Whatever
60s. I mean,
feedback,
I'm
yeah.
old, but
We don't say that word.
Hey, I'm old
Senator
too.
Young.
No, you're young yet.
I'm young up here,
That's
but the
it.
body's old.
That's it.
But to let them know that, you know, we're doing this, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
We're finding that the seniors we are meeting from the surrounding towns are now stopping in for some of these activities. And we wouldn't have got them otherwise, probably, if it wasn't for that pickleball. And you go there and
Yeah.
yeah,
you have a group that is playing, and those that are waiting to play are socializing.
That's right.
And they're from all different towns in the area, and they're comparing notes. What's
Yeah.
going on? We got nothing to do this weekend.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, people
Great.
can't believe that you do a painting class for nothing. You know, people are amazed when they hear that, that it's
Oh, the things that come out of that painting class
Yeah.
are beautiful.
Oh,
Beautiful,
Plus, they've
beautiful.
been for the donations we've gotten for the materials.
right.
And supplies, which helps. But instead of charging, if we need it, or you run out of glass to paint, you go buy a cheap frame and bring a piece of glass to class. We're not gonna charge you to come paint. Just bring something if you wanna
Yeah.
use it.
Yeah.
But, and what Jim's saying too, a lot of the people we're meeting are Douglas people who never thought about coming here. And it's opening up the discussion among Douglas seniors that haven't frequented down here for anything. And they're saying, oh, really, you do that? Like, you do
Yes.
that?
Yeah.
And so we're getting that exposure in our own community, which is nice.
That's why last month I changed over the newsletter. Instead of just having the front like it was before, I put our activities right on the front so that you can't miss. Like, open this up and look.
What's going on.
Right, because I
Yeah.
think a lot of people were tossing it.
yeah, you can see it right there.
Yep,
So,
so,
I'm sure that was happening.
yeah, yeah.
do we wanna have Pam go over the Sunshine Club news now, or do you
I
have more
haven't done the
events?
upcoming programs.
Oh, you got, oh, I thought we were already talking about those. I'm
So-
sorry, moving along.
Another thing is we're not seeing a lot, but we're starting to see more men
Oh, that's a
getting
good
involved. Okay, because
We have one
Yeah.
gentleman that comes to
Pickleball.
exercise and he's
Yeah.
very faithful.
Yep.
Comes all the
Yeah.
time.
and they're starting to inquire more, and it's nice to see. I
Yeah.
know a couple of the other senior centers in the area are working on getting men to come in.
Right.
You know, so they're offering a breakfast or a lunch,
Yeah.
and they're doing it on like once a week, every week, and the men are kind of stubborn, you know,
Yeah.
to go
Really?
to a senior center
Yes.
as opposed to somewhere else.
Yeah.
But,
McDonald's.
The fishing game club,
yeah,
Dunkin' Donuts.
you can't get into the Whitensville
McDonald's,
McDonald's.
yeah.
You can't, the doors,
Yeah.
every guy in town is there, and the women are going across the street to
Yeah,
Burger
it's,
King.
it's,
Really?
it's
Oh,
meant
yeah,
for
for
generations, yes.
Yeah. Dunkin' Donuts in Whitensville, same way. Yeah.
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 They have a
Towns are
certain
getting
group that just
Yeah.
meets there every
Yeah,
day.
well,
Well, they do
Our-
across,
even our,
they do at the picket fence also.
Yeah.
Our
They sit
card
at the
group
bar.
used to have a couple of faithfuls in there that would come. Now the card group is big. They're up to a couple of tables themselves.
Yeah.
And it's good camaraderie.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
So-
And I think once people, I know when I first started coming here, I was like, oh, I'm not gonna go to that place with those old people. But
Not
you,
like
you
that,
have to
no.
come and experience it
Yes.
and realize that we're upbeat, we have fun. Like Pictionary was so much fun,
was-
I
and
told
I
you
didn't
that.
want to come.
It was a good
But-
I knew
time.
it was.
My team lost, but we still had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We will have a rematch.
There you go.
Rematch.
And
So,
the Thursday card group moved their starting time forward a half hour, because they used to come in at 1 and play to 3, and now they're coming in at 12:30 and
That's good.
playing till 3. and
That's good.
yeah,
So,
good.
Yeah.
One of the
Alright, so-
people at the exercise group the other day told me that I was her inspiration.
Oh,
nice.
Because I've been coming, I come mostly the time.
yeah.
And she said, I see you here, and she said,
Yeah.
makes me come.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
That's awesome. So today we're gonna do hats for our Mother's Day tea tomorrow. Typically, we haven't done it for, well, we did last year. We didn't for a few years. But we would have like maybe 12 or 15, we have 32 people signed up for tomorrow. So I thought that was, and it's a free lunch. We're doing that with our raffle money. We thought we'd do that because typically our policeman barbecue that we have is like around Father's Day.
Yes.
So we kind of wanted to do something nice for the moms. Our movie days have gone really, really well. So this month, we're gonna see, we have a ghost, and we're gonna make stuffed peppers for lunch. And we have Mass DPH coming in for hearing and visually impaired phones for people. Communication is key, so they're gonna go over all of that. Yep, and we're doing fishing day with Representative McKenna at Wallem Lake.
I saw that. That's
So
wonderful.
that should be a lot of fun. Other senior centers are joining.
Great.
And we have quite a few people signed up for it, so
Good.
I think that'll be fun. And then we have, just so I can get it out there first. The barbecue. Yep, so the barbecue is June 8th. So, and yes, all of our last programs were really successful. Pictionary, we had quite a few people. Unibank sponsored pizza, and so
We had a fun time.
it was a good time.
fun.
And we're
Yeah.
seeing,
I told you it would be.
even the high school breakfast was packed. I could not believe the amount of people at the high school breakfast. I think there was 35 people. And yes, definitely some people calling in because we're putting everything, obviously, in the Tribune. I put everything on Facebook. A lot of stuff is going on cable. The newsletter, Jennifer updates the list every month, so every other month it generates to new people.
Yeah.
And as soon as our newsletter goes out, or the Oxbridge Times goes out, the phone never stops ringing. We now have a new phone system, so we don't have one line anymore that goes to voicemail. We have 4 lines, so we're all learning it. So the phone can ring, and if you're here alone, it's a lot. Yeah. So, because we used to just, it goes to voicemail, and then you check the voicemail. So I think on Friday alone, we had like 30 phone calls. In the first hour we were open. Jennifer and I were going out of our minds. So, yeah, so things are going well, and I think that our upcoming programs will be just successful. And we look forward to planning some new adventures. I know, like Jim said, a lot of the younger seniors want to go for day trips. They want to go have fun doing something, or maybe some educational activity or whatever. But if I can bring any speakers in here, I will do that too, if anybody sees anything that they think is interesting.
That's wonderful.
So,
Good,
all
good.
right.
All right, well, Pam, I'll turn it over to you for the Sunshine
Okay.
Club.
can I ask you a
Oh, go
question
ahead,
first?
yeah, please.
Where you had an activity like the Pictionary, I was in the other room when you were doing that, we could hear the fun you were having. Where that was so successful, have you considered doing that on a monthly basis, once a month?
So what we did was.
And make it, fix a day, like the
Right.
second Tuesday of the month or whatever, and once a month. And from there, I could see where you have your group in front of you and say, next month, we're gonna try, and you could pick a different game
Right.
and vary it, but at least have something down that the people can look forward to on a monthly basis. How does that sound?
Yeah, I mean, we try to do a big program every week, right? So next month, we are gonna be doing a different game. We've come up with a game called Who's Who. So we have questionnaires for all the seniors to fill out that wanna join in. It will be anonymous, so people just have to guess by the little facts of maybe what you had for a career, or where you were born, or we have a ton of questions. So we figured that would be fun, because that's a getting
That
to know
does
you
sound
too.
fun. That
There's a
does
lot of
sound
things, I
fun,
mean,
yeah.
I know all of you, but I don't know everything about your,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What your parents did, or maybe,
Yeah.
you know, so I thought it was a
Yeah.
nice discussion just to learn more about who everybody
Yeah,
is. But yeah, I like the idea
That
of
does
doing
sound
a,
interesting,
It does.
doesn't it?
doing a game if we have some faithful followers. It's just the time too, because Thursdays we have cards. So like you guys left the picture, I went and played cards because that's your thing. Wednesdays we have mahjong, so the mahjong people aren't gonna do that. Tuesdays we have bingo. Monday afternoon we have mat yoga. See what I mean? So it's like if we pick those, we try to pick a big event every week to do something in the time slots. But like you said, that we had a great time out here, but you guys were playing cards, right? So.
Yeah, but don't let that deter
No,
you
no, so-
from
no, no.
making it a monthly
Yes.
thing.
Right, so it's finding that time slot to be able to do it with other things going on.
Right, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. With the regular programs that go on.
correct.
Yeah.
I left a paper here that one of the other senior centers did, and I think it got
The
passed.
virtual tour of Boston? I saw it. Yeah.
Of Fenway.
Yeah, of Fenway, yeah.
If you still have that, could I have that back? Because that's the only, I didn't make a copy
Oh,
of that.
sure, yeah, no, I still have it. Yep.
How do you feel about that?
Yeah, so I looked up all of this stuff online, so I'm just waiting for somebody to get back to me. But I thought that was a nice little virtual tour.
There's somebody that has put together a program, I don't know if they use a camera or what, but I think they do it on the TV.
They do, it's virtual.
And it was a couple times a year, they open Fenway Park where you can take a walking
Yes.
tour, and they
Yeah,
show
yeah,
you the
yeah.
ins and
Yeah.
outs and places you'll never get to see. I've never done that, but somebody has that on video,
Oh,
and it's a virtual tour of Fenway Park.
wow.
And they did it over at the other senior center in the next town, and they had a lot of men show up.
Oh, yeah, they would, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and so it exposed the men to the senior center. And you're gonna take baby steps, and that was a good step,
Yeah, yeah.
you know? They,
I mean, I would be interested in that.
I would, I'd
Yeah.
love to. Yeah, I'd love to see, what the locker room looks like.
yeah.
Not you. You're a Yankee fan.
And out there behind the scoreboard, and,
Yeah.
so I look forward to
Yeah.
seeing something like that tried here.
Probably go over good.
Maybe when our bus is ready.
Well, no, it's a virtual tour, they do
You
it
just
here.
watch
You
it right on
stay
TV.
here.
Yeah.
It'll be
You
here,
stay here.
yes.
You can
Yeah.
watch it right on the
Sit
TV.
and go.
And they have a fellow explaining the whole
Oh,
thing.
okay.
Yeah.
So you don't have to walk anywhere. That's a great
Is it
thing.
interactive, or is it just
No.
like
I don't
pre-recorded?
know.
It's virtual, it's pre-recorded.
Pre-recorded. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. That's
I-
kind of cool if it was.
I know they had another activity. It was interactive because they had Phil Vandersea come and talk to the kids. Phil's a local,
So, oh, yeah,
Oh,
okay, yeah, I know.
local boy from,
Kid.
yeah, he's a local boy, but he wound up playing for the Green Bay Packers.
Mhm, I remember.
And his
Yeah.
brother played for the Chicago
Yeah,
Bears.
at their Super Bowl party.
And Phil came and spoke to the group over at the senior center in his town, and I guess they packed the place.
Oh,
Yeah.
So,
and there's one guy from Worcester too that played. I can't remember, he's announcing now like today for the Blue Sox,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think he was a pitcher.
I wonder if you could get some of these former athletes
Yeah,
to come in and,
that would be great.
I'd love to sit and listen to Bob
Oh, yeah.
Cousy for,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and he's in Worcester.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
But
okay.
yeah, that's a
Good
good idea.
ideas,
I'd
Jim.
like that, yeah.
Yeah,
Good, good.
good idea.
All right, Pam, you have the floor.
Okay, Sunshine Club, we had our meeting yesterday. On May 12th, our sock hop is looking good, so we're ready for that. would like to have two park rangers come in, beginning of summer, the end of the summer. Jim went to a program and listened to one talk about the last Green Valley over on the other side of Webster. And then we have a pickleball player who used to be a park ranger here in the Blackstone Valley over at Riverbend. And she's got 5 programs she could pick and choose from. So we thought maybe the end of June, try to get her here to let people know what's available to
Yes.
them and opportunities. And if we want to plan a day trip to go do something locally, we can work from that. And then at the end of August, middle of August, maybe have the park ranger from the, what valley? Quinnebog Valley or whatever that is. The last Green Valley, called. And
That
have
was
him-
really great last time you guys did that too.
Right, and so have him come in and give a program of what's available over on those rivers and areas.
And he said he's got 5, I don't know why they both have 5, but he's got 5 programs, on video. And if you're not into the waterways, then he can do the animals, or he can do the vegetation or whatever. And so just like Val, she's got 5 programs you can pick from. But
Right.
she'll let you pick the
Pick the
program
one.
that you want, that
That
you
might
think would
benefit
fit
most people.
Yeah.
most people for this area.
And so you get an idea of what's here, but also a better understanding of our neighborhood environments, which
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
changing. So you may have heard something 20 years ago, it's probably a little different now.
Yeah.
So the state of the Blackstone River has improved so much, so you'll get updates. So we're gonna try to orchestrate, maybe with a cold lunch, and each of those, one in June, one in August. And we had a sign up here for a lighthouse tour with Foxy. No one signed up for it, so we're gonna offer another one. It's a little bit cheaper. We have to carpool down to Quonset and take a lighthouse tour of Narragansett Bay. It'll only be like $37 per senior. We'll just
Yeah, that's-
carpool down there, and if we get enough people to want to do that. So we're gonna pursue that, and that's pretty much it for now.
Thank you.
How about beekeeping? So the person that does bees.
We had Kenny Watchell come in a couple years ago
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
do the whole thing about harvesting the honey.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that's a good, well, you could have it again.
yeah, he was very,
Yeah.
Kenny's very interesting, and, the way he told you how he likes to go to different sections of the towns in the area and then blend the honeys together for people who are allergic, and
Yes, yeah.
it covers a bigger group. I found that really interesting. I don't want to get near a bee, but
Yeah, no, me,
What was his name, Jim?
Ken
Watchell,
Watchell?
yeah.
Ken.
His brother had just retired from, he was Northbridge Police Chief.
Yeah.
Yeah. W-A-C-H-O.
WAR.
CHO.
He's got an R in
Yeah.
there?
Yes.
WARCHO.
Okay, good. Sounds good. Okay, let's open it up to any other business that has not been anticipated in the last 48 hours.
So I met with Officer Brett yesterday, and I've been chatting with the police chief. We have a tremendous traffic issue here.
Oh,
So,
yes, yes.
Before, we were open until 2 o'clock, right? And then when we reopened 2 years ago, we stayed open till 3 o'clock because we have to accommodate the programs and such, not realizing really how that was gonna affect us with the school. So, and the post office had put on that brick wall to the ramp, and there's a big truck that comes in every morning and drops off mail, and a big truck that comes in every afternoon, like a big box truck.
Yep.
So for the last couple of weeks, the police have been here observing the people coming down the hill, they're not stopping at the stop sign, the people that are flying up this road to be able to come in and get their kids. Our programs are, if you're not out of the senior center by 5 or 3, you might as well stay here till 3:30.
Yeah.
Because and with all the construction that's gone on, taking a left is,
Can't take,
it's
yeah,
been a
yeah,
nightmare.
can't, yeah.
So, we did have speed bump. I met with the police chief and, the former police chief and the highway department and our former, town administrator about a decade ago over this, because when we started getting busier, our overflow parking is now the church. So people are walking across the street, and it was, so they put in speed bumps, they put up signs that said, crossing, senior crossing. And it's just not working now. These people that are coming up and down the hill are on their phones, they're holding their dogs, I mean, and they're going very
It's very
fast.
narrow right
And
now.
it's very
speeding,
narrow,
Yeah.
very
Patrice,
narrow.
I
It is
can't
very
tell you
narrow.
how many
Yeah.
times
You
I
almost get
have
killed.
come out, and if the big mail truck
Yes.
is parked at the end,
blocked.
you have to those people fly
I know.
up
Don't
that
have much
hill.
line of sight there.
No, and it is very narrow on either side. There's two huge
Yes.
buildings and there's no way to make it wider.
That's
So as
right.
people are turning that corner, they're going over the yellow
Yeah.
line. So we have been chatting about, I'm gonna meet with the town administrator today and try to set up a meeting now with the police chief, with the highway department, Officer Brett, and try to figure out what it is that we can do, whether it be a crosswalk, put the speed bumps back, do we put a mirror so people can see coming out of the center?
Yeah.
They have, Officer
dangerous.
Brett was gonna talk to the teachers, because that road up there is, you cannot come down that road until 3 o'clock in the afternoon. But the teachers and other people that are volunteering or whatever that are getting out early are coming down the road before 3 o'clock.
Yes,
Trying to beat the traffic.
yeah.
We can't put a stop sign here because that would back up all the traffic onto Main Street.
I can't do that. Yeah.
Not
So,
only that, Patrice, they come up this road
I know,
and make the curve and go up the hill.
yep, that's
So they
right.
won't have to
Yes.
see that one, and
Oh,
they're
Yeah.
Yeah.
speeding through also.
The speeding is what really
Yeah.
gets me.
Yeah.
Some of those people take that corner and fly
Yeah.
up that hill.
They do. So they've, like I said, the police are on it, they have been observing. They are,
We do have a stop sign out, right out
no,
here,
no,
don't
they're
we?
coming up, it's coming up the hill. So it's the parents and the people going up the hill at 3 o'clock to go get their kids, or
To
at
pick
5
their
or 3 or
kids
5
up.
past 3. So,
Yeah, I sat out there yesterday for about 5 minutes, a little after 3. And I was watching the people coming down the hill. There's a stop sign there.
nobody stops there.
6 cars came down. First, there were 2. The first car did come to a complete stop, but when she took off, the car behind her went right along with her. And none of the remaining 4 cars stopped. They did a rolling stop,
Yeah,
you know, they
right.
slowed down, but you can see there's nobody here, so they just continued on.
So they've asked me to kind of document. So if you go to pull out and somebody's flying in, or somebody almost takes you out, or you can't have a visual sight because of the truck, anything that's happening in the parking lot or up on this, just let me know, and I'm just gonna
Okay.
keep documentation. Doesn't have just kind of the day or time, because of course paper trail is your best way to go. But the police themselves, yes, they have been
Yeah.
sitting here watching, and they are just in
Dangerous,
awe
very
over
dangerous.
how it is.
So that's the volume.
Everybody's in a hurry.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
well, that's it,
And-
you know?
You know what it made me think of is Pam and I spent 5 years on a committee to do something with the old school up here.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
Just imagine if we had been successful.
How much more traffic?
Yeah.
Right now.
There
We're talking about a
is
new
so
access
much
road.
traffic.
Right,
Really.
exactly, right, and there's just nowhere to do
Yeah.
it. So they're working on it, so like I said, I'm gonna meet with the administrator today, I'm gonna try to set up a time so we can get together and collectively come up with what is the safest way to keep our seniors safe,
Yes.
and especially walking across over there, because our programs do go later into the day. If it's
Yeah.
5 or 3 and you're leaving with your
Yeah.
walker and you have to go over there, God help you.
And some
You
of
can't
us
put
don't
'em-
walk fast.
Right.
No.
I mean, most
I'll
of
go
us
over
have mobility issues.
Yes, of
I
course.
do, Janet does, you know,
So,
it's dangerous. It
Can they
is-
put a blinking light?
we're gonna just round table every single solitary
Yeah.
thing that we possibly can come up with for the best interest of Main Street, the safety of the seniors, and a way just to make sure that,
Yeah.
I mean, they don't have an officer to do a detail every day. Like I said, they've been watching in the morning and they're watching in the afternoon.
They have to
Half
do
a day's-
something with the Main Street, though. I have that issue coming out of my street.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Jean knows, she lives next door to me.
don't go anywhere from
It
4
is
o'clock to 6
deadly.
o'clock. You
Yeah.
can't get out
And I
of there.
have
Wasn't like
talked to
that
Nick
20 years
about
ago.
it.
No,
It's been
There's
ongoing.
two
You
signs.
know when the traffic light in front of Price Chopper has changed,
Yeah,
because that's how they come through.
Oh, it's terrible.
it's gonna get
They
worse.
don't even pay attention. There's 2 signs that say 25 miles an hour. One of them is near Shirley Cooney's house, and then the other one's a little farther down.
Yep.
And I proceed at 25 miles an hour, and people come up on the back of me, and they're like so mad. and then getting out of there
Yeah.
is very,
That's
very
how
dangerous.
Volume
somebody
has
hit me
increased, yeah.
from the rear.
Very
They were coming
dangerous.
down and I
Yeah.
was turning left, right at the rear end.
Okay, Patrick's got to work.
All right.
All right, next date.
For the next meeting, Patrice, could I ask you a favor?
Sure.
Could you have one of the girls check on what would be involved in bringing a group to a Woo Sox game? It's becoming very popular, and
Yes.
they're saying how many groups of seniors are going there, and they're getting dropped off right there. Somebody else is parking the vehicle.
Maybe we
But
could do
they're
a
getting
senior day.
dropped off right there,
Yes.
and they're
Yeah.
really having a good time.
We
Yeah.
went from our church
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah.
I can't tell you.
Oh, you did?
We had the best time.
I haven't been there.
It
It is a good
was
place.
so
didn't-
much
I
fun.
haven't gone.
Yeah.
It was, and we had a big group of people that went.
And what'd you do, get a bus to take?
We did it, not for the church, because there were a lot of younger people, but if we, with our van, whatever, I saw vans coming, dropping people right off at the entrance.
Yes.
But it was such a fun time.
Yeah, I'll see if I
It
can get
was
a
a
group rate,
fun night,
transportation, and, yeah,
yeah.
come up with something.
Yeah.
All right, that
Sorry,
sounds
guys.
good.
And you might
I
want to
haven't been
check
to a
with
ball game for
Mr.
over 50
McKenna.
years.
Yes, I'm going to.
Yes,
Yeah, I'm gonna see if we can plan a senior day.
that would be nice. Okay, let's pick a date for our next meeting. I have June 7th available. Is that a, June 7th?
June 7th works for
For the
me.
next meeting? Is that all right? That's Wednesday, June 7th?
June 7th.
June 7th.
Okay.
I mean, I haven't seen it that long, you haven't worn it.
My calendar is already full for the month of May.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
mine
Hi,
too.
ladies.
If you
All
put
right,
something on
so,
Tuesday, I'll be
just
here
need
every
a motion to
day.
adjourn.
I will.
Second?
Second?
Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful day.